This is Shannon Butler, Science 101, Winter Term 1, and I'd like to talk a little bit about the Andromeda Galaxy. First, let's talk about a constellation, the Andromeda constellation. The Oxford Dictionary defines it as a group of stars forming a recognizable pattern that is traditionally named after its apparent form or identified with a mythological figure. Modern astronomers divide the sky into 88 constellations with defined boundaries. So the Andromeda constellation is named after the Greek myth involving Perseus, and he rescued Andromeda from Poseidon's sea monster, fell in love with her, and married her, and they lived happily ever after. And this painting is from Gustave Moreau's painting in 1870. They not only lived happily ever after, they reside in the night skies now as constellations right next to each other. They can be seen side by side. Now for the Andromeda Galaxy, a galaxy is defined as a system of millions or billions of stars together with gas and dust held together by gravitational attraction. So the Andromeda Galaxy resides inside the Andromeda constellation. So this white part here is the constellation. Here are her legs. Here's her body. Here's one arm. There's the other arm. And this M31, that's the Andromeda constellation. Some quick facts. The first recorded mention of it goes back to the 10th century in the Book of Fixed Stars by a Persian author, Al-Sufi. Really interesting if you wanted to Google it. It had historically been considered a nebula, which is a cloud of dust and gas within the Milky Way, for a long time. So if you go back and look at historic documents about Andromeda, it's often referred to as a nebula. It was first known to be photographs showing its spiral formation in 1888 by Isaac Robert. And Edwin Hubble finally did do the proper calculations in 1925 to declare it an official galaxy. Some quick facts. It's the Milky Way's nearest similar neighbor in size and mass, but it's about 4 times as large. The Milky Way has roughly 250 billion stars, and Andromeda has 1 trillion. It can be seen here on Earth with just a naked eye in the night sky, and it can be photographed with just a regular telephoto lens if you have a nice camera. You don't have to have a telescope. It's roughly 2.5 million light years away from Earth, which just means if we go out and look at it, the light that we see left the Andromeda Galaxy 2.5 million years ago. It's also called Messier 31 or M31. Messier is a cataloging system for deep sky objects like star clusters or galaxies or that sort of thing. And it was discovered around 2001 that metal-rich stars, they're generally hotter and brighter and shorter-lived, were in Andromeda's halo, possibly from nearby dwarf galaxies. So in the news here lately, there's talk about Andromeda taking in or cannibalizing other galaxies. Now this has happened forever, but what researchers have discovered recently is a new way to study the star clusters orbiting Andromeda. They can tell a bit more about their history and maybe when they were even taken into Andromeda. And this is important because about 4 billion years from now, the Milky Way and the Andromeda galaxy will collide and Andromeda will take us in. So they might be able to find a little bit more about how the Milky Way's future, how that will play out. Thank you so much for listening, and here are the references that I used to gather this information. Take a look at them online if you'd like to learn any more about it. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.